What up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's Monday, November the 20th. We got 8 games on today's card. As usual, we're going to break each one of them down, try to find an edge, come up with some winning picks. Something we do every single day on this channel on this long-ass grind called the NBA season. Before we get started, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I would really appreciate the support. You guys want to make some money? I do, so let's fucking go, guys. Up first, we got the Boston Celtics and Charlotte taking on the Hornets. Celtics currently 9-point road favorites. I have them favored by 8. Boston 11-2 on the year, 6-game winning streak, obviously on an uptrend. Even though, guys, in their last couple, they have looked a little shaky. Barely squeezed out a 3-point win in Toronto a few nights ago. And last night in Memphis, were lucky to escape with a 2-point win against a dismantled, decimated by injuries Memphis Grizzlies team. The Celtics got lucky. Now, tonight on the injury report, nothing to report as of now, but we know, guys, the Celtics on back-to-back sets, sometimes they do tend to rest some players. Kristaps Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, we might see one of those two guys on their injury report, but as of now, nobody on the list. The Hornets, 3-9 on the year, 4-game losing streak, not playing well in their last couple, have gotten destroyed. Granted, it has been against some pretty good competition. The Milwaukee Bucks lost by 31, and in their last one against the Knicks, lost by 14. Both those games were at home. On the injury report, Terry Rozier has missed the team's last 4 or 5 games. Not expected to play tonight either. Now, how do I see this playing out, guys? This looks like another spot where the Celtics could possibly play down to the competition. Second night of back-to-back. The Hornets, of course, they've been getting destroyed by everybody, but they're not as bad, guys, as their recent form shows. And what their record indicates, at some point they are going to bounce back. This line does look a little high. It is a little high for my liking, but I can't take the Celtics here, guys, laying these many points, even against the Charlotte Hornets. I'm going to take Charlotte here with the +9 in this game. Up next, Denver and Detroit taking on the Pistons. Nuggets currently 8.5-point road favorites. I have them favored by 8. Denver 9-4 on the year, dropped to 3rd place now in the Western Conference on a 2-game losing streak. 2 losses on their current road trip. One against the Pelicans and the one last night in Cleveland against the Cavs, a wire-to-wire loss yesterday in Cleveland. The Nuggets are just 2-4 on the road so far this year, showing us the same patterns as last year where they were a sub-500 ball club, rely a lot on their home court. They are also missing Jamal Murray. Like we've said, he's going to be out for the remainder of this month. The Pistons, 2-12 on the year, 11 straight losses for the Detroit Pistons. They were in action last night. Toronto got absolutely obliterated, lost 142-113. On the injury report, they do have a lot of players out, like we've mentioned. Everyone that played yesterday is expected to play again tonight. Now, 8.5 points for the Nuggets, guys. Looks fair if you take in consideration Detroit's recent form, 11-game losing streak. They're pretty much the punching bag of the NBA, but I can't lay these many points with Denver, guys. I'm going to take Detroit here with the +8.5 in one of the ugliest games of today's schedule. Detroit +8.5, though, is what I'm going to go with in this game. Up next, Milwaukee in Washington, D.C. taking on the Wizards. The Bucks currently 9.5-point road favorites. I had them favored by 8.5 points. 9-4 on the year for Milwaukee, 4-game winning streak. The team obviously on an uptrend, playing well. On the injury report, nothing to report here. Nothing significant, that is. Bucks playing well. The Washington Wizards, 2-10 on the year, 5-game losing streak. The circus, how I like to call them, living up to the hype. One of the worst teams in the league, just 2-10. On the injury report, nothing to report here, and even if there was, I think it still would be pretty insignificant to mention. The Bucks, the obvious favorites in this game. They have hit their stride, guys. They are on one, to be honest. Recently, have been playing tremendous basketball. Damian Lillard gotten used to his new teammates. This should be a no contest. I'm going to take Milwaukee here with the -9.5. They should win this game comfortably. Up next, Miami and Chicago taking on the Bulls. The Heat, 1.5-point road favorites. I had them favored by 3. 8-5 on the year for Miami. Just got their winning streak snapped. They were on a 7-game winning streak, snapped in their last game against the Bulls. These two teams played against each other just a couple of nights ago. On the injury report, nothing to report as of now for the Miami Heat. Everyone that played in the previous game should be in action again tonight. The Bulls, 5-9 on the year, 4 games below 500. Had their losing streak, a 3-game losing streak, snapped in their last game, like I mentioned, against the Miami Heat, in a game where they started off extremely slow. I think the Heat jumped out to like a 24-1 point lead in the first quarter. It was 24-1. It was something like that, guys. But they worked all their way back into the game, ended up making the big plays at the end. Big win for Chicago. Nothing to report here on the injury report. Everyone should be available once again. In these spots, guys, I do like to take the team that won the first matchup between the two. In this case, it was the Bulls. I'm going to take them here with the +1.5. This is going to be my pick in this game. And quite possibly, guys, this could be my play of the day. Chicago here, +1.5. Up next, the New York Knicks are in Minnesota taking on the T-Wolves. Timberwolves, 3.5-point home favorites. Currently, I had them favored by 4.5 points. The Knicks, 8-5 on the year, 3-game winning streak. Team is playing well, obviously on an uptrend. RJ Barrett came back from injury. He was in a concussion protocol, came back last game against Charlotte, played pretty well in the 14-point win against the Hornets. Quentin Grimes, the only player still on the injury report listed as questionable. Got to see if he's going to be back in action tonight. The Minnesota Timberwolves, first place currently by percentage points in the Western Conference, 9-3 on the year. Bounced back from a loss, a big blowout loss to the Phoenix Suns on the road. Squeezed out a 1-point win against the Pelicans in a game that they were behind in the score pretty much all game. Made some big plays at the end. Managed to escape with a 1-point win in New Orleans. The team in the last few games has not looked all that sharp. They are getting wins, but not playing all that great. Possible downtrend could be in the works here for the Timberwolves. On the injury report, nothing to report here. They are at home, 3.5-point favorites. In this game, guys, I'm going to take the Knicks here with the +3.5. I've been really impressed with their play of late. Very solid on defense as usual, but also have been putting the ball in the basket. The reason for some pretty big wins that they've been logging in lately. I'm going to take the Knicks here with the +3.5 points. Up next, Sacramento is in New Orleans taking on the Pelicans. The Kings currently 1.5-point road favorites. I had them favored by 2.5 points. To be honest, I thought my 2.5 was a little generous, even though, guys, the Kings are on a second night of a back-to-back. Sacramento, they are 8-4 on the year, 6-game winning streak for the Kings. I've been absolute monsters of late. One of the hottest teams in the NBA. Last night, we're in Dallas, big 16-point win. Doesn't matter who they play against, guys. It seems that the Sacramento Kings just go about their business, play their style of basketball. It's been working. Up-tempo, run and gun for Sacramento. They have been on fire. Last night, Kevin Huerter missed the game against the Mavs. Listed as questionable for tonight. He's got, I think, a finger injury. Got to check his status. He is a starter, an important player. The Pelicans, they are currently 6-7 on the year, 1 game below 500. Have picked it up recently, guys. We're on a 2-game winning streak. We're unlucky not to win the previous game against the Timberwolves at home. Zion rested in that game. It was the second night of a back-to-back. They have been resting him on these back-to-back sets, not risking any injury. Tonight, he should be back in action here. 1.5-point dogs. The Pelicans playing well on an uptrend. I know it's absolutely tough to bet against the Sacramento Kings these days, especially with short numbers like this. But this number, guys, it does look a little trappy to me. The -1.5 for Sacramento. If it stays the way it is right here, line doesn't move up too much out of control, I'm going to take the New Orleans Pelicans here with the +1.5. It's going to be between this and the Bulls as my play of the day. I might just play both of them as my plays of the day. But I like the Pelicans here, +1.5 in this game. It does look risky, but this is going to be pretty much a line play for me. Up next, the LA Clippers in San Antonio taking on the Spurs. The Clippers currently 8.5-point road favorites. I had them favored by 7.5 points. The LA Clippers, guys, 4-7 on the year, 3 games below 500. Finally snapped out of that losing streak. James Harden finally got a win. Made a 4-point play late in their last game against Houston. The Clippers won that game by 6. They could have easily dropped that. Did not look that great once again. They have picked up Daniel Tice, finally adding some size to the roster. Now Ivica Zubac does have a backup center. The team, guys, is very short. Tonight, playing against Victor Wembanyama. On the injury report, nothing to report here. Everyone should be available for the Clippers. The San Antonio Spurs, 3-10 on the year, 8-game losing streak after the very promising start. The team has been struggling and struggling hard. In their last game, guys, against the Grizzlies, they got up to another 20-point lead. They start off the games red hot, San Antonio, but they just can't sustain that level of play. Teams always come back on them. There is a bit of a pattern here with the San Antonio Spurs. 8.5-point dogs in this game. Still do look like a lot, even though the Spurs, guys, 8-game losing streak, have been playing very poorly. Devin Vassell expected to miss again tonight on the injury report, starting point guard for the San Antonio Spurs. Now in this game, guys, what am I going to do? It is a very ugly ball game, possibly the ugliest game of the day to bet on. These do look like a lot of points. I think a lot of people are going to take the Spurs in this game, but I still can't bet the Clippers What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the recent trend with the San Antonio Spurs. I do expect them to start out strong. I'm going to take them here with the plus 2.5 points in the first quarter. Like I said, they start the games very well. Cannot sustain though. They get ran on in the very end. San Antonio plus 2.5. First quarter, my bet in this game. Up next, the Rockets are in San Francisco taking on the Warriors. Warriors currently 7.5 point home favorites. I have them favored by 7 points. The Houston Rockets are 6-5 on the year, currently on a 2-game losing streak. Lost both games against the Clippers and the Lakers. Covered both spreads, fucking me over in the process. I had both the Lakers and the Clippers in those games. They covered both the spreads. Those damn Houston Rockets. In this game, guys, second night of a back-to-back. They were in action yesterday in LA taking on the Lakers. Dropped that game by a point. The Warriors, they are currently 6-8 on the year, 2 games below 500, 6-game losing streak for Golden State, playing very poorly at home, just 1-6. Who would have thought that we'd be talking about the Warriors being 1-6 at home? An absolute disappointment. Dropped a back-to-back set against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Last 2 games, little mini series against the Thunder at home. Warriors lost both those games. They did get Steph Curry back in their last one though. Fortunately, he was out for a couple games with a knee sprain. He's back in action. Now they're just missing Shrek, Draymond Green, the only player. Gary Payton also. Those 2 players from the rotation missing for the Warriors. 7.5 points in this game, guys. This, just looking at this game, gives me a headache. So what's going to be my pick in this game? It's going to be this. Fuck them both, man. This game, I'm telling you, this is like the worst game on the schedule for me tonight. My pick in this game, fuck them both. No pick here, guys. Good luck if you guys, whatever you guys decide to bet on this game. And that's going to be a wrap for me today, guys. This 8-game schedule, we broke each one of the games down, did our analysis, got our picks, and we are ready to roll. As usual, I'll be posting my best bet of the day down as a pinned comment on this video about an hour before tip-off. Also on my Twitter at Pick'emNBABets. Give me a follow there. Remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. This dude right here appreciates every single one of you that tune in to my videos. Even though I'm telling you guys from now, my best bet of the day, it's probably going to be 2 of them. It's probably going to be on the Pelicans and the Bulls. A couple of home dogs is what I'm looking at right now. If nothing changes, guys, these are going to be my plays of the day, but I will be posting them down as a pinned comment, official plays, an hour before tip-off. Let's make some money, guys. Like I said at the beginning of the video, enjoy your day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace out.